Hello everyone, welcome to today's episode of Showcase on Warframe. Today's weapon, the Mutalist Qunata. So yes, this weapon's a bit of an oddball. I've done the Qunata some time ago, and the Mutalist Qunata I never bothered doing. Well, I got a Riven mod for it, so let's try it out to a build. Anyway, this bizarre weapon of human corpus technology infested biology, so automatic rifle that can also play in rated airborne infested mash. Further field testing is required to fully understand the potential of this weapon. Well, I'm doing that field testing right now. So yes, it has a rather mediocre damage, no critical chance, but the status is at least there at 15%. 60 shots and reload 3 seconds. But I'm gonna at least be up in front with this weapon. It's awkward to wield, incredibly awkward. And it may be the one reason a lot of people don't use this weapon. That and maybe a lack of firepower. But however, the firepower is there, but that's the awkward part of it. So yeah. Anyway, where you find this weapon, well, you gotta have a dojo. When you do, go to your your bio lab, where all the innovation stuff is, and you go there, find the bottom row, and we find it here. Now, what you'll need to build it is 30,000 credits, whatever, 5 mutant mass, which I have no mutant samples, because that damn new infestation weapon, I forget what it's called, 15,000 nanospores, which is pretty hefty, 1,200 circuits, which is not bad, and a forma. So yes, I never have enough forma. God, this series just drains me of all my formas. But yeah, the resources are pretty okay, but then on spores, there's quite a few of them. It's quite a few. Now for the performance, now you can see this weapon is actually physical, not a laser, and yes, the barrel spins. Problem number 1, the barrel spins. I don't know why it spins, but it obscures your view of your target. Not really, but not to a point where you can't use it, it's just really annoying. Yes. Now, secondary fire, you got this orb. Now how this weapon works, you want more damage? You fire at your enemies through the orb. It adds radiation and critical chance. The critical chance jumps up to 20%, and the radiation damage is also added. I don't recall if it adds status, I believe so it did. But the problem is you can only have 2 of these orbs, it takes 15 ammo out of your magazine, and you can see you don't really have much control over where it goes. It kind of goes in one place and you kind of got to work with it. So yes, that's the main problem with the weapon, is this orb. It's decent when you get there, but it's such a small thing, and not to mention, look at this orb. It obscures your view so heavily because it's all this crap around it. Yeah, and you can see that's just, you're really restricted with this weapon, with how you're firing it. These things will hurt you, ever so slightly though. As you see, it only does 9 damage to me. On the wiki it says that it will hurt you, but it really doesn't. So yeah, this is incredibly awkward to use. It's decent, but incredibly awkward. So yeah. But yes, you can use these projectiles to actually harm opponents themselves, but it's not really that great. They're slow, and you can see they just hang there. You can't really detonate them. They detonate only after 9 seconds. And yes, the detonation can kill enemies, as we can see here. Alright. For what there is, this is not my ultimate build. Okay. So you can see I got 268 puncture and almost 500 viral. My status chance is 36%. Alright. So I got acceleration for base damage, I got split chamber also for that base damage, and I got piercing caliber for the puncture damage. And then I got about that ribbon mod, which I'll get onto later, about its damage. Now, I got primed cryo rounds for more cold, and then I got Malignant Force for poison. I also got Rhyme rounds, both Malignant Force and Rhyme rounds adds the element of cold and poison, and then extra status. Infested Clip adds a lot more poison. So yes, I went for more or less a 50-50 of a little bit of base damage and a lot of elemental. I believe it's the best build I can get out of this. Alright. Now, as my Riven mod, I got the ultimate Riven mod for this weapon. I got reduced weapon recoil, which is really nothing. I got 200% damage and 140% puncture. Now it says minus 78% multi-shot, but to be honest, it doesn't really even affect the multi-shot at all. Not sure if it's a bug or not. Now the wiki says that this weapon isn't affected by heavy caliber, but that's outdated, I believe, because I slapped heavy caliber on this sucker and I could not use the weapon worth the damn. The accuracy went all over the place. So that wiki page is no longer accurate. Now, let's go into a test. Let's go ahead and send Lancers. They should be the most prominent to use against them, because this is a puncture weapon. Got 10 of them. We'll put them to level 65. Alright. Now, without the orb, you can see it just pretty much meets the acceptable requirement of killing an enemy with the Grineer. Not really a good one either. It's just acceptable. So we have to use the orb. I like to call it. I'm not sure what to call it. So use the orb. It's hard to hit your opponent because he doesn't like to sit still and he runs off. It seemed like they did almost the same, didn't it? At point blank, the weapon's mediocre. So, again, I'm limited by the orb I have to use. It's very awkward. Yeah, even with the orb, I'm not doing so great. I see he's affected by radiation. His friends start to shoot him, but that's very little saving grace. So even though this is supposed to be best used against Grineer, because, you know, well, it's not really best used against them, but it has the puncture damage. They're not really the best to fight with it, because they move around way too much for this orb to be useful at all. Takes up 15 of my ammo. I'm there just trying to chase them down with it. Get a few shots on them and they run. Ugh. So annoying. So after the Grineer, we'll go over to some Corpus. Let's see, where are those modes again? Oh yes, over to the right. They're there. So we'll grab around 10, 12 of them. And same level. Level 65. Now, like these guys will stay still for me, and they'll clump in a group, making this a bit quicker. But the damage... I'm not very impressed with the damage at all. You know, the orb explode, it only took out their shields and a bit of their health. Ugh. In 9 seconds, you really can't time that very easily for a group. Yeah, this weapon's quickly becoming a stinker. Even with the orb, I'm not getting anywhere with this. You can't add critical damage or critical chance. You can grant critical damage, but critical chance, you can't really add anything to that because you get nothing out of it. You can't augment that 20%. And now we'll move on to Chargers, get 20 of them, all level 65 as you see. This is okay, but still, trying to use this orb in a non-controlled environment, good luck with that one. You will not be able to see this orb just passes right through them and they don't care. They don't care for viral damage or the radiation. Doesn't really affect them that much. You can see they're fighting each other, but that's the best I'm getting out of this. So yeah, this weapon, clearly at this point you can see it's not really worth it. At level 55, it barely gets the job done. Barely. And I don't like barely. Alright, time to move on to the pros and cons of Mutalist Qunata. For pros, this might be a little difficult. The secondary fire adds a unique dynamic to the weapon. Yeah, no other weapon quite does that. Abilities will do that, but not other weapons. But I think that's the only pro for this weapon. On the cons, the damage is mediocre. That secondary fire is incredibly awkward to use. Yeah, but let's leave it at that. Going on to the score for the Mutalist Qunata. Damage, I'll give a 4 to 10. It was not impressive, both in and out of that orb. Meh. Accuracy, though, was excellent at 8. But though if you put a heavy caliber on it, it goes right to the shed. Design-wise, I can see what they tried to do, but they kind of fucked up the execution in my opinion, so a 3 out of 10. Ammo, I'll give a 4 to 10. You have a decent amount of ammo, but you can go through it pretty quickly, as I tried leveling this weapon. It happened plenty of times. Misc, I'll give it a 2 out of 10, because this weapon just kind of falls right on its face. I can see what it tries to do, and if it was executed a bit better, maybe if you can move the orb, like, you know, hold it, like, you know, drag it, maybe even bump it. I don't know. But it's something better than the way it is now. So, the Mutalist Qunata gets 21 out of 50. It's bad. Yeah, it's just bad. Pretty plain about it. It's very clear the judgment of this weapon's just not worth it. When I get a bad weapon in the scoring, this judgment is just simply an end card. But no matter. Yeah. Even after going to the Ultimate Ripping mod for all that damage, this wasn't worth it in the end. Adding more elements to this wouldn't really fix too much. But oh well. That's just been showcase for today. Not every weapon can be good. Hopefully the next one will be better. And before we go, if there's a particular weapon here you want to see on Showcase, leave a comment down below to be the next weapon I choose. I'd like to thank you for watching and take care out there.